Okay, no one knows about this project because we wanted it to be secret until tonight. So that's the first time that we are talking about this project, which is called the Five Tribes Experience. So I'll let you with the first part.
In the beginning, there was earth and there was sky. For billions of years, they embraced each other tenderly. Those who saw them from above agreed earth was amazingly smooth and beautiful without any frontier. One day, earth and sky were bored. They were so close and yet so far. Sun, clouds, wind, animals, plants, rivers, each could play with their own element that none could share. So, Sky suggested creating something new, a special being, a sharp conscious and an agile body that would unite them forever. Thus was born man. Earth and Sky made a deal with man. He gave him the sun to keep him warm, air to help him breathe, water, fruits and vegetables to feed him, and in return, man promised to be the missing link between them. First, he started to think, to love, to dance, to sing, even to dream. Then he used all the wonders that Earth had to offer to turn his dreams into reality and build objects and houses. Man was happy and full of energy. For a long time, Earth and Sky and man lived in harmony. But as the years went on, man started to change. He grew greedier, eager for more power. He put his dreams aside and focused his energy on increasing the number of things he owned. Clans and frontiers were made and shattered. Empires rose and fell. The deal was now broken, long forgotten. Without dreams, everything man built became a reflection of his own pride. He exploited the earth's and sky's resources, poisoning the air, the lands, and the oceans. In spite of the warning signs, he kept on destroying all the good things he was given. Because of this, Earth fell ill. The sky was sad and disappointed and decided to take all that he had to offer to man away. In a heartbeat, man lost everything. In the year 2023, a virus spread all over the world that decimated mankind. It only took a few hours for every single human being on the planet to die. Every single human being, except a small group of survivors.
Okay, so hello, my name is Emmanuel Exbrayat, and so as I say, I will try to explain you everything about this project. So, yeah, we started working this project in 2012, actually. That's the third version of this project. The idea was in 2012, this is what I did at this moment. I wanted this project to be one man on stage. I wanted to be alone on stage with these two 3D characters. And I wanted to mix a new technology and this set design and video mapping and everything I could mix together to have what I call a nice project, a nice show. So at the beginning it was just a show. This is what I tried to do, but it was in France at this moment in Lyon, and I decided to go to London to live, and I wanted to compare my project with other projects. Actually, I didn't find any project like this, even in London, but so yeah, this is just the, before I go further, this is how we built this project. It's just a part of the design. I wanted to show this part because for me it's one of the most important, most interesting. We made a part of the set design with this foam that we sculpt with cutter, with in this case with a hot cutter. I don't know the name in English. Just to literally sculpt it, and after we just paint it, and later we add some LED. So as I said, I came to London in 2015. Actually, it was before that, and I realized that I didn't want this project as it was at this moment. I wanted to go further. I wanted to add many things. So I worked 3 years more to be able to do this one that you are seeing, which is a little bit different because at this moment I wanted to change my mind. I wanted to work with other musicians on stage. So I met this 2 very nice guys. One is a dancer and there's a drummer on my left. What I wanted is keep this idea of mix technology, mapping, etc. To go on stage with instruments like everywhere. On my costume there is instrument. On the stage there is some instrument. It was just the beginning. But the first idea is I wanted some people being behind the screen sometimes, and sometimes I wanted them to be seen by the people. But it was just, yeah, as I said, the beginning. It wasn't very good at this moment. So, yeah, the main thing was, from the beginning, what I wanted to do was more about, it was this mix that, as I try to say, between this technology and music and all this stuff. But I had in mind this story that I wanted to tell, but I didn't know really how to tell, because it's always difficult to do something that kind of no one did before. Usually if you want to tell a story, you go to a theater, you go to a cinema, for example, maybe a comedy, but not really live show music with this kind of thing. So we had to invent something that doesn't really exist with this form, I would say. So, I agree. So, it was very hard, but we started to tell this story, to create this first show, telling the story in the meantime. It means that, as you see before, we are trying to play music, to perform our music live, and in the meantime, we wanted to stop for 30 seconds to have the time to tell the story and go back to the... Anyway, finally, it doesn't work at all. Everyone was amazed by the show, but no one understood anything about the story. So it was very interesting for me. I would say interesting. But after that, I decided to stop everything about how I was thinking about how to do this project. Just starting do it in another way. Yeah, that's the result. So now, 3 years again later, I'm very happy to introduce for the first time this, what we call now experience, because it's not only what I expected it to be at the beginning, a show, it's really a full experience. So now it's time for me to read exactly what Zoe wrote for me, because I can't remember it. She said, it's a unique 3-winged experience, a mesmerizing, okay, cool, a mesmerizing tale, okay, a game throughout the city, and an immersive live show. It's not from me, obviously. Okay, so this is what it is, what we're trying to do. So that's just a small part of the what we call community, the beginning of this community. There's people help me from sometimes not long, sometimes a bit long time to build this project. From 2012, I had a lot of people helping me to imagine things, to try electronic stuff, to try video, and so a lot of things. So I had to learn a lot of things to be able to do it by myself because I couldn't count on anyone, of course, to help me like every day. She said that I had a little bit of time. That okay, no worries. She can't. Okay, so that's a part of the people who are helping me in this project now, and they are gonna talk after me to explain things that are more interesting. Okay, this is the teaser of the project. That's just the first beta version of the teaser, so you will know more about that. You know more about that. I hope you enjoy. Did you enjoy? Is that looks good for you? Because I have no idea, you know, that's the first time that someone can see it. You like it? Yeah. Ah, thank you. Okay, that's a lot of work, as you can see. So, now it's time for me to invite Zoe to replace me to explain you everything about the scenario.
Hi everyone. So my name is Zoe. I joined the Five Tribe Experience 6 months ago. And my work when I first came here was actually writing the book. That's the first part of the experience, along with Paula that you might have seen on the team picture. She's back in France right now, but we think of her, obviously. So the book was based on what had been established before with Emmanuel, Aurélie, and Camille. And I had to write the book and develop some part of the stories. Now that's kind of over, but I have a new mission. That's why I'm here tonight. It's to work on the promotion of the project. So what I'm going to be talking to you about is the first volume of the experience. There are actually going to be 3. So 3 books, each one with its own game and its own show. And everything in those 3 parts of the experience has the same scenario, and it develops different part of the story. So the scenario is a fantastic one. It started in 2023 when a virus kills everyone who breathes, every human being. After the end of almost all humanity in London, there's a group of survivors that takes shelter in the underground tunnels of London. And there they learn that they only have 1,000 years to improve their way of being and thinking, to be allowed to go back on the surface. So they built a new civilization, which is called Renaissance. It's resting on the teaching of 5 tribes. And each tribe is based on a different form of art. You have dance, drums, words, and symbol. And obviously there's a 5th one, but if you want to know what it's based on, you have to read the book. So their time underground is coming to an end, and they have to find somewhere else to live. Peter and Owa, who are the main characters, they leave for an adventure outside of the city, and they discover the secret of their origins. So that's the base of the story. And the first part of the experience is the book that details kind of what I just told you. So the book is in French right now, but because most of us are French, even though Emmanuel worked with people from all around the world. But it will be translated in English pretty soon, hopefully. So it's an augmented book because at lost my word. On each page, you have a QR code that you can scan, and that leads you to an app where every subject that is talked about on the page is developed. For example, if you have like fantastic animals that you want to know more about that are described in the book, you can just scan the QR code and you be given more explanation about it. And if you don't find enough explanations, you can either suggest something and the community on the app will vote for it, or you can write your own part of the book. It's up to you if you want to write like a fan fiction or something, but it actually will be part of the book at some point. That's for the book. And then the second part is the game. So from the moment you buy the ticket for the game, you'll start receiving notification that will help you like discover the universe and the characters. And that's when the game starts. From then, you'll fill in a profile and you'll get a tribe that you belong to. And then you'll be roaming the streets of London to meet people from your tribe. And together, you're going to have to do a bunch of things. And the end of that part of the game is to find the venue. So every game is the afternoon before the show, so you'll have to find the venue of the show. And then once you're there, the game is not finished. As a member of one of the tribe, you'll dive into an immersive adventure that is going to be challenging your mental and physical skills, as well as your capacity to work with a team and then as an individual. So earlier you heard Emmanuel talk about how he built the project, and he's actually on stage. You might have recognize him, though he was wearing like crystals and things, but that's him. He's on stage with Aurélie, right there. So she's the one who's going to be talking to you about what's going on stage. She's not wearing her like Freddy orange costume, but she looks fancy enough. Aurélie, if you want to come.
Hello. Thank you. You're amazing. Your English is amazing. You said thank you. Anyway. So I'm gonna start talking about the music because first I'm gonna talk about I met Emmanuel 3 years ago, and I found his mind, imagination really amazing, and the story in fantastic words. So he brought me inside his world. He proposed me to join him as a singer, and he built me also a futuristic harp, like really amazing, a really nice one. And the thing I like with the music he's composing is like we fancy both of us electronic music, and this music is really for the show is really a mix between and sensual tribal sounds and really spiritual sounds and shamanic drums. So it's really a mix of futuristic and really natural sounds together. Yeah, and I like this way. Yeah. And so yeah, that's why. So we are both of us on stage, and he will be the character Peter, and I will be the character Owa. And that's why is that how the audience can meet Peter and Owa characters from the book. And it will be like a part of the book. So I like the name will be Celebration. Is a very important part of the book. Will be playing on stage, and because I don't know how. Yeah, we will be dressed the same way with the same makeup. So it will be really immersive. And so I read also because it's really hard for me to just by heart. So celebration is the only part of the story and reveling. Yeah. Okay. And so as said Zoe, it's a project built in 3 parts, and so the book, the game, the show, and it will be immersive in all way. You can play it separately, so you just can do this game, just do the show, or some whatever, or all together in any case. So yeah, it's all comes from the same story, and they complete each other. Voilà. So now we will talk about the technical stuff, and I'm really bad at it. So this is Emmanuel.
Thank you, really. She's the real artist. She's the one. Okay. At this moment, I wanted to say thank you to Laurie, to invite us for this meetup. And she said probably you have a lot of technical things that could interest people in this meetup. So I said, oh, just a little bit, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, before it was just you to understand what is the project, because the project is not only technical, there is philosophy behind, there is many things. But this is also that. So this is my room, kind of, and this is my mind as well, kind of, messy. This is just this picture I'd chosen because it was the first time that we put LED on this big structure, and actually at this moment we just had no idea what is going to happen after, and if it will work properly or not. Just we did it, and yeah. Anyway, so this is the same structure that I told you. That's a time lapse to show you how we can install it, because we spent quite a lot of time to imagine this design, but the main thing was that at some points we will have to install it somewhere on stage, and if we needed like 2 days to install it, so it wasn't possible. So we had to find a way to make it fast, to install it fast as possible. So we need now about 2-3 hours to install everything, which is quite amazing. And we expect in a few months to be able to make it like in 2 hours with 4 people. So in this case, it was just the first time that we installed it. So it was, not necessarily the best way to do it, but yeah, actually it's working. Yeah, anyway. talking about video mapping, so there is a lot of video projector on that. There's 5 actually, and one interesting thing for me is that we have screen in front of us. We have inside probably, obviously. There is a screen in front of us and there is a screen behind us. So obviously we had to make it transparent, allowing people to see us. But what we wanted is be able to change clothes and do it, things inside without being seen. So the idea is that if we project something and there is no light inside at all, we can't see us. Actually, we kind of disappeared, so we can do our stuff. And when we do the opposite, actually, we can. It's possible to see behind this screen. As you can see, there is this blue part is very lighted, and there is a light as well inside a little bit, like here. Here and here, there is a light. But if I switch off this light, we won't be able to see anything inside. That's another picture. Yeah, that's the same. So it's a mix between, there's this LED and there's the video in the front and in the back of us. So we use, I guess a lot of people, Resolume 5 and Resolume 6. One is for the LED and the other one is for the video. There is 5 video projector, did I say that? There is 5. 2 and 2 for the front, 2 for the back, and 1 for the instrument, this big crystal thing that is mapped as well. Okay, LED was one of the most difficult parts because, as I told you, I started this project in 2012, so it wasn't just possible to imagine to have this kind of thing in a project like this. But in 2014, we kind of see the first people doing things with LEDs, but it was generally squared. So lines like this, so it was easy, like a usual screen. It was easy to manage it, but in my case, you can see if you already tried that to control LEDs and to map LEDs on structure, it's very, very, very hard because nothing is close to nothing, and the number 1 is here and the number 100 is here. So you can, number 2, for example, so yeah, that's very hard. So at this moment, Resolume wasn't, it was Resolume 4. You couldn't manage LEDs like this. So we had to invent, to create a software to do that. So we did it. It was kind of working. The electronic wasn't that good at this moment. Something was okay, but not a lot. So we tried a lot of things. We tried, and finally we find a way. Fortunately, Resolume came with this new version, which is more easy, kind of easy to map the LEDs on the surface that is not necessarily squared. So this is like 8 months ago. So we just finished install the whole structure. So you can see that there is LED on the I don't know how to call it, how? Stand, yeah, that's a stand, thank you. So it's a stand where we put instrument, and there is another one that we call harp, made in the same shape. That's the shape of the crystals. So yeah, this is what we finally achieved, and it was, the first time it was working very good and stable for the first time, kind of. Now it is, but 8 months ago it wasn't that good. Hello, Camille. Hello, Camille, because there's a video tonight, so I'll say hello in the video. Just to show you different part of Resolume. So sometimes it's just yeah, we use mask, use so you know this kind of thing. Okay, so yeah, we created a new instrument. The first idea was even at the beginning, it was to use setup to transform this setup to music instruments like every surface using sensors. In this case, yeah, in this case, that's distance sensor that I use on every point. Okay, every top. Thank you. It's working. So I've got here on every top I've got a sensor, and thanks to that I can play like if I just push my hand like this, I'm gonna have a sound. And if I move my hand, I will have a. Actually, it goes through Arduino and goes to Ableton Live, so I can manage everything. It could be a pitch, it could be effect or anything. In the meantime, it goes to Resolume. So every sound that is generated is as well connected to Resolume to have a special ambience of light, just something appear or disappear because we touch things. So that's the harp that I made for Aurélie, the left part. Yeah, these sensors are different. They are kind of very hard to find, actually. It's like sensor that you can touch, but they are very long, like this long. And you can have a lot of value on that, like 1000. So it's kind of precise. And we cut it in two parts to have two notes, and that's the same thing when she just touch one sensor, one part, she has the first sound, and when she move like this, you can have a so, and holding her to do like amazing sound, like very ambient, so yeah, something. So there is 10 of this sensor, 12 actually, 12 of this sensor in this instrument as well. Okay. Are you ready? It's okay. So that's the event part. So yeah, what's the technical part? If you have more questions after, you will have time to ask. But for the event part, I'll let Zoe take my place because it's her job actually. Do it properly.
So a good thing you need to know is that the premiere of the show is going to happen hopefully in December. At least we're going to try. That's why we're launching a crowdfunding. Astrid is going to talk to you more about it in a minute. But yeah, we're not sure where this is going to happen or how many people are going to be there. It's all depending on the crowdfunding. But yeah, hopefully December. So starting now in September and until December, we're going to do a bunch of events and workshops. Workshops on creative and collaborative writing, because the book was written by like 3 people, more in total if you count all the people that worked on the story before, but the actual writing was made by like 3 people. We're going to have workshop on making your own costume from Renaissance, the city I was talking to you about before. We're going to have workshops based on the arts that are developed by the tribes, so dance, drums, words, and symbols. We're going to have workshops, like more technical workshops as well, on Resolume and on the creating instrument like Emmanuel did. And that's about it for the workshop. We're actually going to create a meetup pretty soon, so if you guys want to find us, you may find us on Meetup. Yeah, and today is the first time, as Emmanuel told you before, first time we're presenting the project, so that's pretty exciting. If you have any like feedback they will be much appreciated. And what we aim to do is presenting the project to as many people as possible. The idea is to gather a real community around the project. And that's actually what Astrid's job is. So if you want to come and talk about it.
Hi everyone, I'm Astrid. And as Zoe said, I joined the team 2 weeks ago. So when I came, they already had a strategy for social media. So my job is to manage networks such as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter accounts. So my mission is to gather people around our project from various horizons, is to create a real community around it. So we will begin to launch the project on the 21st of September. So it will be a crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter to help us finance the London premiere in December. It will be the only place where you could buy tickets for the show and the book. Actually, our goal is to get £7,000 in 45 days. It's the minimum amount we need to organize the event, but actually we will do better things and much accurate to what we want if we can have more, but there will be different levels and different rewards on the crowdfunding. So it's also a good way to involve the community for the cost of the premiere. But you can find every details and all the rewards on the Kickstarter. Also, don't hesitate to subscribe to our newsletter. It's on our website, so you can be informed of the progress and all the events we will organize. So now time for Q&A, and if the team can come with me.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you have any questions? Or not? It's time for it. Don't be shy. I had some question. Claudio, please.
I can ask a question.
Yeah. He wanted to ask a question, but I said no.
The question is, I love the project, and I met Emmanuel and the team already in the past. And Emmanuel, first time we talked about the show, I mean, the idea, the experience, I was really intrigued and attracted by the experience itself. But the question maybe is for you, Emmanuel, how did you deal with the different parts of the music, the sounds, the video? How did you manage to control everything? You know, because that's something that I'm interested. Like, did you do like, I don't know, 2 months focusing on the video, 2 months focusing on the sound? How did you deal with that creatively, like the process?
I'm getting crazy. Now, basically, I think I had this chance to not have any idea of the whole work that is going to be. So I just didn't know that it was so long to do it. I thought in 2012, I thought after a year I will be done everything. So it's going to be 6. So it's not really planned actually. I'm not enough, organized in my mind to plan everything. It's more opportunity. So it's more about life, what life bring to me at which moment. I meet people like you. I meet other people like just crazy people that they involved in this project, saying that's amazing and we want to work for you for almost nothing. And it just made me so happy, so proud of all the job that we do all together. So it's more, yes, opportunity, people. So just people is an artist. So when I work with her, I can do a part of that. When I work with Astrid, I work on another part, and Zoe does the same, and for everyone does the same. It's just I try to manage my time regarding to the time that these people have to give to this project. Yeah, but from I have this chance because for 6 months, maybe something, I do it full time. So we all are working on this project full time from 6 months, which obviously wasn't the case before, because I had to work a lot to make money for with my company. So I've got this small company using this technology. That's why I could use this technology. That's why I could learn this technology. I could meet these people, technical people, and everything. So basically, I worked a lot in this company to have enough money to be able to live like a year, only producing this project.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah,
Because I was intrigued by the logo of the five tribes.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to add a little bit of an elucidation on that.
Actually, this logo changed, but it's my friend called Afif. It's cartoon illustrator, very nice one, who did a lot of project with me, and some of the illustration from this project. He suggested me kind of this logo, and we worked together, and we had this just the three parts of the picto at the beginning, because the first name wasn't that, but together we created this picto, and I changed 3 times actually the name of this project, and in this 3 project I always kept this one. So it's, yeah, I don't know. Yeah? It's a crystal actually. It's from the story. It's 3 parts of the crystal, and as Zoe said, if you want to know more about that, you have to read the book.
Can I ask what inspired you to do this project? Like, what's your inspiration? Where do you get your ideas from?
Why it inspired me? If someone can answer. I don't know. I have no idea actually. It's
like
just.
The structure looks like, you know, when bees make honey. Yeah. Like it looks like the structure of honey.
I have no idea where my idea are from, to be honest. It's just many time, and sometimes I dream about things. And I draw something, and I see things, and I mix everything, and just I try. I don't know. I try and I learn. You know, it's usually explain myself as someone who didn't do kind of any school. So I had to learn everything by myself, I would say, and for me that's the best thing to do now in this world, to try to learn how to learn, because school is not good. And this is actually what this book is talking about learning things, about living all together, about art in the society, about what is money, what is hierarchy. So this book, this story actually is just a pretext to talk about something that is very more interesting for me. Probably from my background, because of my background, I wanted to tell this kind of thing.
Can I say something?
Yeah, you're actually right about the structure and the honeycomb thing. It was kind of on purpose. I'm looking at him because he's thinking about. It's because bees, they have a sense of community, and that sense of community we'd like to include in the project, in the whole project. And it's not just us working alone and doing something for people. We want people to be involved in it. And in the end, actually, the 3rd book will be written with everyone and with all the ideas of everyone. So yeah, bees is a good symbol for the sense of community.
That makes sense.
Yeah, this is really what I wanted from kind of the beginning. I didn't want to, actually I'm not a writer, I'm not actually nothing, I'm just someone who learns things and try things. And what I wanted from the beginning for everything I did in my life, I wanted to meet people and create things with people. This is what I try to do. Sometimes it was good and sometimes it wasn't good at all. And for this project, what I wanted is sharing the process. I understood that a lot of people like to involve these kind of projects, but they are not able to make it from scratch. So my job in my life was always to find nice people, artists, I would say, and just put them together and just say, okay, guys, you can do something. And usually they say, no, we can't, we don't know how to do that. And I say, yeah, I know that you can do that. So just have a talk, have a chat together, and we will find a way to make it. And this is the story of this whole project, basically. Actually, that all my life was like this. Every company, everything that I did was about sharing ideas and knowledge and yeah, this kind of thing. That's why I wanted this book, but this project move with the time. I had to make it alone at the beginning. After that, I met these people to help me to write it properly. But as Zoe said, you already, with the first book, you already have the possibility to write by yourself using this app. So you can propose things that we maybe didn't think before. You can add things that is not existing in the book. So that's for the first book. But for the second book, if you have idea about what is going to happen in the second book, you can already write in this app what you think, and the community is going to vote, and the best idea will be printed in the second book. And for the third book, we are trying to find a process allowing the whole community to work all together, all the people they want to do that. So we already know what is going to happen in this three volume of this story, but how it's going to happen, we don't really know. We don't want to know actually. We want the community involved this story and just, as I always do, just create things all together. Just trying.